Okay, so this demo is going to be about how to add the animations to your slides. First, we're going to do the transitions. Those are the animation from slide to slide. Then we're going to do build-ins and build-outs. And then we're also going to do actions. So there's all different kinds. And build-in and build-out is when things fly in and fly out. And your action is when something happens to the slide without it leaving. So it comes in. One that I like to use sometimes is called scale. And with scale, what happens is the picture that you put scale on, or it could be words, gets larger. So it adds some emphasis. I'll show you that on the little, I have a little map here. I'll have the map zoom in a bit so you can see it better for that action. Okay, so first let's do slide transitions. And to get to the transition screen, you need to have the slide selected but none of the objects. So, instead of having a picture or type, go ahead and have the background selected. And then be sure you're in Animate. And remember, these change based on what pictures are selected. It looks like I have some transition, or I have some build-ins here already. That's okay, we'll deal with it. So to add a transition, I'm going to select the slide that I want to put the transition on. And I can actually do more than one slide at a time. If I do a shift click, I could click the top slide and then shift click the bottom slide in the stack, and it'll grab them all. So now when I add my transition in, it's going to put it on every single slide. If I hold the Command key, I could go in and I could grab every other slide if I wanted. And then maybe I'll have one transition on that one and a different transition on the other one, the other set. I'll just do all of them though, just in the interest of keeping it quick. So I've selected them all. I'm going to go in and make sure I have Animate selected. I'm going to add an effect, and I'm going to use Doorway. And right now, the duration is, that's the speed of the effect basically. So when I play that, the duration of 1.50 is that fast. I could make it even faster going this direction, or I could make it slow. So you can adjust those to be, how you want based on the music that you're playing. Just try not to go too slow because your viewer will get bored, and try not to go too fast because it might be too hard for us to really see. So you want a kind of a happy medium. Now, important thing here for these, I want to set them to transition automatically and not on the click. So that way nobody has to stand and click the mouse for the slideshow to play. It's going to do it on its own. And the delay here is going to control how long it sits on the slide before it does the next transition. And I would say 2 to 3 seconds is pretty good. Once you start adding build-ins and build-outs, that adds to the time. So if you have a transition of 2 seconds and then you do a couple build-ins, that might add another second to that whole slide's animation cycle. So be aware of that. If you add too many, you might need to go back and adjust. But I'll go for 2 seconds to start. I can always go back and change this. So now what I have basically, I'll just show it. I have actually some build-in, build-outs there that I didn't realize I'd saved, but that's okay, I'll show you those. But that open door where the pictures part, that's the transition. So these are ones that don't have any builds. That's why they're just going through. Okay, so let's do build in and build out. So this one already has them, so this picture doesn't. So to do that now, I need to actually select what I want to build in and build out. So if I want this writing to come in first, I'll select it. I'll do build in, has to be on Animate, and I'll say add an effect. And I can have it move in, I can fly in, dissolve in. There's all different things you can do. I'm just going to do a simple move in. So, or actually typewriter's kind of fun too. Let's do typewriter. And with those, usually there's things you can change. Like like the other one, the transitions, you can change the duration, make it go slower or faster. In a lot of cases, you can make things go different directions, from the top or the bottom or the left or the right. Looks like the typewriter has that option too. And all at once, that's if you want the line to come in all at once. I want that for now, especially a short line like that. So there's my build. Now this box for me is already open. When you guys go and you do your first build, it won't be open, it'll be closed. To get to it, you're going to need to click this button, and that's going to open that for you. And you can see my very first build here, and it's listed as number 1. Right now it's on click. I'll change all those, but I think I'll do the builds first, then I'll go back and change them. So now I'm going to build in this photo. So I select the photo, and I'm going to have it come in. I'm going to twirl it in. Okay, so I've got 2 builds. So the first build is going to be after the transition, and the second build is going to be after build 1. Alright, so we can see how that's going to play. And there we go, that's pretty good. Now I could do a build out, which is going to make the picture leave the scene. Or I can use my transition leave also. So, you know, when this is playing, it's going to do its builds. And then it's going to do its open door transition. And so you decide, you know, you don't necessarily have to have both build-ins and build-outs on everything. Sometimes making things really complicated is not really the best approach. Simplicity can be a great thing in design, so don't worry about, you know, being too simple. Just make it look cool. You know, if it looks cool, we're good. The next one I would do in the same way. So I would just go in and I would select, you know, and once again, they're going to be build 1 and build 2 unless I have more pictures and more type. It would be a little bit more actually. It would be, you know, I'd probably say build in 1 for the type. I'll go ahead and do it. So I'm going to add an effect. I'm going to do a build in. It's going to move in. And then I'm going to go to this picture. I'm going to add an effect. And I'll add a twirl again. And oh, you know, this is backwards though, actually. I don't like that. Hold on. Let me delete. I want this writing to be with this. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. So I've got this build in, and then this picture is going to come in next. You want it to make sense. So since this line is talking about grandparents, this picture makes more sense. And this line is talking about grandmother, and that's her, so that one makes more sense. So we're good there with those. And then this picture is going to come in, or maybe the line. Let's do the line first. It's going to move in, and then the picture is going to twirl in, and then this little arrow is going to appear. Or I could have it move in. I think I like appear. So now they're all on clicks, but basically if I preview that, oh, oops. Well, let's add the timing. So I've got my 1. I'm going to set it to after transition. I've got the second one. It's going to be after build 1. Third one, after build 2. Fourth one, after build 3. And the line, which is the arrow, is after build 4. Now, this arrow, by the way, is created from shape here. And when you click into shape, you can change the color by clicking through the different ones. And then you just grab the one you want and drag it. And you can move them around. You can adjust the angle of them, how long they are. So there's quite a lot you can do with those. Alright, so let's go ahead and play this one and see how it works. So there we go. And that was the transition. Once again, I could do build outs if I wanted to. Alright, so this one I'm going to show you now just because I wanted to show you the action one. So these are just going to be a move in. And this one also is going to be a move in. And this one is going to be a twirl in. And then after that, I'm going to have this map have an action so that it actually gets bigger. And so I'm going to select it, I'm going to go to action, and I'm going to add an effect. I'm going to use scale. I could have it bounce or jiggle or pulse or do something like that too, but I like scale. Scale's going to look like that. So it's just going to make it bigger, which lets you see the little name of the little village or town. So I'll add that. I could also go in and I could add a, if I wanted an arrow on it, I could have an arrow move in. You know, there's all kinds of things you can do. I'm going to line that up a little better. But now I have my builds, I just need to set them. So after transition, after build 1, after build 2, and after build 3. Okay, so let's try to play that. I might have these zoom. I think it would look cool if these fly on this slide. Those flew away and then the picture got big. So I might go in and refine that. And that, you know, don't just make them. Play with them until they are doing whatever your ideas are, but try to get them to look really nice. And you know, the very first thing you do might not look the best. Try it until you like it. Play with the timing until you like it. Now, I have been encouraging you guys to get songs. I wanted to show you one last time how to put a song in there. You click into Document, you click into Audio. You have to have an MP3 file. You can drag and drop it, or you can go in, if it's loaded into iTunes, you can go into iTunes. Now, some of you guys might have an iTunes account, and if you do, and you want to just log into it to get songs, if you have purchased songs, you can do that through Store. So what you do is you're going to go to Store, and then you're going to say authorize this computer. And you can authorize up to 5 computers. So, you know, even if you have your computers at home authorized, if you want to do that, you can do it. It's going to ask you for your Apple ID and your Apple password. So you need to know those in order to authorize the computers. But that's a way, if you already have things in your iTunes that you've downloaded at home, you can get them that way.